Good morning, everybody. Just so you all know who's who, I'm Ali.
I'm Atman.
And I'm Andy. They're the brothers. They're the Smith brothers.
All in the eyes. And we're going to start off with a practice. It's really good at kind of boosting your own energy up and then the energy of a room up. I guess we're going to start off. Y'all can sit, move to the edge of your seat, have your feet grounded, have your back, neck, and head aligned. And I invite you all to close your eyes. And we're going to start off by taking a couple deep breaths together. In and out through our nose. So everyone inhale long, slow, and deep. In through your nose, filling your stomach up with air. And exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Inhale deep again. Long, slow, deep breath through your nose, filling your stomach up with air. And exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Inhale deep one more time. Long, slow, deep breath. Filling your stomach up with air like it's a balloon. And exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Now you all can just breathe on your own at a nice natural pace. Don't put any effort into it. Just make sure you're breathing in and out through your nose. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to withdraw our senses to a thumb-sized light at our heart center that looks like a star in the midnight sky. They say that's the cave of your heart, the seat of yourself, the seat of Brahman. They say that's where your true self is. So that's all we're going to focus on is seeing that light, that thumb-sized light at our heart center. Looks like a star in the midnight sky in the cave of our hearts. And don't pay attention to anything on the outside of you. Don't pay attention to your clothes on your body or how your bottom feels on your chair. We're not focused on anything on the outside of us. We're just focused on that thumb-sized light at our heart center that looks like a star in the midnight sky. And you know, if your mind slips, it's cool. Don't beat yourself up. Just acknowledge what made your mind slip, whether it's a thought or a sound. And then redirect yourself back once again to that breath and seeing and feeling that thumb-sized light at your heart center. Looks like a star in the midnight sky. Once again, that's the seat of yourself, the window to the soul, the seat of Brahman. And we're just going to stay right there. All right. And what we're going to do on the count of 3 is we're going to say, I love you to your true self. That thumb-sized light that looks like a star in the midnight sky. And we're going to say it out loud together. So on the count of 3, I want everyone to say, I love you to your true self. 1, 2, 3. I love you. All right. All right, next thing, I invite you all to open your eyes. And if you all could pair up, find a neighbor next to you.
This is the great part because sometimes you got to look at a stranger.
All right. Y'all have lots of pressure. You guys have to hurry up and find your partners. All right. So the next part of the practice is you all have partners and you all saw that light inside of yourself, your true self. And what you're going to do is you're going to see the physical representation of your partner, but you're going to go beyond that physical representation and see the same light that you saw in yourself inside your partner. And this is where it gets good. You're going to tell your partner, and you're going to say, look at that true self of your partner and tell them that you love them.
And say it like
Yeah.
you mean it, all right? Like you really mean it.
All right? So on the count of 3, you're going to see that same light that you saw in yourself, in your partner, and tell them that you love them. 1, 2, 3. I love you. That felt good, didn't it? All right. The last part of the practice.
Still more. There's still more.
If everyone could, if y'all could just kind of like stand up and kind of like position yourself where you can see the majority of the people in the room. And, we're just going to follow the same scheme. That same light that we saw in ourselves, that same light that we saw in our partners, we're going to see in everyone in the room around us. That unity within diversity, that oneness within us all. And we're going to tell everyone, I love you. And we're going to scream it too. You better say it like you mean it. Yeah. All right? So 1, 2, 3. I love you. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's it, y'all. We out. It's like, nah.
All right. So a lot of the work that we've been doing with the Holistic Life Foundation has started around and kind of based upon us just going out and doing stuff. A lot of times it's got us into trouble because we didn't really know what we were doing or why we were doing it, but we just knew it was the right thing, so we went out and did it. I mean, there's definitely been certain times where, like I remember there was a huge like fight going on in the center of our neighborhood, and we jumped in the middle of it, and we didn't, Sometimes it's not the best thing to do. Sometimes you got to think a little bit before you act, but if you care, you might not come from that place. You might just act on it. And we've done that a lot. We started the Holistic Life Foundation. I guess the seeds were planted when Atman and I were little kids, and our parents were into yoga and meditation, and being vegan. And this is like early '80s, so it wasn't cool back then, but now it's pretty cool now. So everyone knows about it. But we practiced meditation and yoga and all these different things as kids, and we had a lot of these things around us that our friends didn't have. And we noticed that we felt a certain way when we had our practice and that base. We lost it and we got back into it after we met Andy at college, hanging out and partying, as college kids do. We met Andy.
I went to class, too. It always comes out a little weird when he says it that way. So
I never saw him in a class. But so we started looking at the world. We tell people this and they think we're full of crap, but our partying turned into a book club. Like literally it turned into a book club. We would sit, we would read, and we would study. And we noticed that the world was a pretty, no one seemed to care about anyone. There was a lot of suffering. No one seemed to be doing anything. No one seemed to care about the other people around them. And we were searching for answers. Our answers led us to more questions and even more questions. And the final place we ended up was our own inner journey. Like the answers were inside of us somewhere. We just had to figure out how to tap into them. We got back into our yoga practice heavily, like really heavily at that point. I tell people we lived like hermits, but there were 3 of us, so we technically couldn't be hermits. But we didn't see anyone. We just were into our practice, and we felt great. This is a time around 9/11 where there were terror alerts on TV, and everybody was stressed out, and people would constantly ask us like, why are you guys so happy all? And we were dead broke too, mind you. But we were the happiest broke people you probably ever met. We didn't go out. We were just like going inward within ourselves. We feel like that was a better journey than kind of going out and doing a lot of stuff. We ended up realizing that we had to share this with as many people as possible. And that was what we started doing. Like we didn't have any experience working with other people. We had never taught a class. We never taught anyone meditation before. But we knew that actually, we had promised our teacher that we would go, the guy that, me and Atman's godfather, our teacher, that we would go and he said there were 2 stipulations on him teaching us. One was about us getting up in the morning and practicing with him. The other one was that we had to promise to be teachers. So we decided that's what we're going to start doing. We're just going to start teaching people. And the more that we taught, the more we wanted to teach other people. So we figured, like, well, if it's worked with 15 kids in an elementary school, maybe it'll work in drug treatment centers, or maybe it'll work at homeless shelters. So we just started teaching as many people as we could all over the place. And I think that's what people need to do more of. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your heart's pushing you to do, go do it. You don't have to sit around and wait. You don't have to wait for the time to be right. There's no better time than the present. And I feel like a lot of people leave here full of energy and life and hope and inspiration. But don't be afraid to let that hope and inspiration shine in your community wherever you are. Like, go out and do whatever you can to make your change in the world and be that change that you want to see and help as many people as possible, because all of us making a change in some way in the people around our lives and in our own lives is how we're really going to start to make change on a global level.
So as you can tell from that first exercise, love is very important to us. We always say love is the most powerful force in the universe, and sometimes we make jokes that a lot of the work that we're doing, we're creating love zombies. We're getting people to get infected with love, and they go around, they keep spreading the love, and ideally, hopefully, we'll just infect everyone and just, minus all the eating people and stuff like that, just be love zombies, right? So I think in particular now, in the state of our nation and what's going on, there's a lot of people who are scared, worried about what's going on. And we've been asked a lot of times, I think, too, what's it like in Baltimore now? What's the impact? How are people feeling? And, our answer usually is kind of like, it's the same, really, There wasn't much difference going on back 8 years ago in some of the neighborhoods we're in, where it's a lot of underserved people, and you don't really see any change, and people are like, aren't you angry? Aren't you frustrated? And, I think if anything, now is the time that we all need to love more. And there's so many people out there that we may not agree with. We may not have the same opinions. But we're still all one, and we still need to work together. And our teacher used to always say to us, the people that are out there that are really suffering and that you might have some kind of animosity to, or some anger or some frustration, they're the ones that need to love the most. We were just backstage talking about how Ram Dass had Mr. 45 on his altar, and he's giving him extra love. And that's what we need to do. We really need to go out there and just spread love. And a concept that really resonated with me, and I would say all of us, that our teacher used to talk about, and I loved it so much, and I share it with the youth, I share it with adults all the time, is the idea of respect. And he'd break the word down. He would say re and spect. So re, like to do again, and spect, like spectacles, to look. So he would say the real meaning of respect is to look again. So similar to the exercise we did that Atman was talking about, you look at individuals and you see them. But when you look again, you see that inner light within them, the inner light that is all of us, the unity between all of us, and you love them. And he would take it beyond that, beyond people. He would tell us to do it with TV screens and glasses and animals and cups and this flower, this table, everything, to look, but then to look again and to spread love. And when we come here to Wisdom, and super thanks to Soren for putting this together, people always say, how are you doing? And it's like a family reunion, we always say, because the love in here is so powerful. And I think just to build on what Ali said, that when we leave here, to take this feeling of love and passion and empathy, it's all balled up in, it's like we got this huge ball of energy, to make sure we use it, and to not just sit down and watch and complain and point at the TV and yell and get frustrated, but to make a change, make a difference, go out there and love. Because together, that's how we're going to make the world a better place.
And one other important part about the work that we do at the Holistic Life Foundation is that I guess when we first started, we were crazy enough to think that the three of us were going to save the world. Like, that was the reason we started the Holistic Life Foundation. We sat around the three of us are going to save the world. That's what it's going to be. And
we're really into comics too, so we thought we were like superheroes, kind of.
Yeah, but I mean that was what we thought we were going to do. And then I'd say very early into it, we saw that the three of us couldn't really make a huge change at all. I mean, we could change a few things, but three people aren't going to change the entire planet or save anyone. And I think we started to realize that we weren't here to save anyone. We were here to help people help themselves. So our whole thing was we were giving people skills to help themselves. Like my son was younger. He's 10 now. My oldest son's 10 now, but when he was younger, he would ask me, like, Daddy, what do you do? Like, you seem to love work. And I'd be like, well, I teach people to help themselves, like through the practice, through meditation and breath work and being centered and connecting with themselves. So I think a big part of what we do is our reciprocal teaching models. We turn every single person we work with into a teacher, whether it's a 3-year-old in pre-K or a 40-year-old at a drug treatment center. We turn them all into teachers so that they can share the practice with as many people as they know. So they know how to use it, when to use it, why it's practical. And then they go home and they share it with other people. Like there's little kids at the elementary school whose parents come home stressed out, come home and curse them out, and instead of just having to take it, they'll stop their mom or dad and be like, hey, could you sit down and breathe and meditate with me? And they'll help calm them down. Or like there's a lady that we taught at a drug treatment center whose son was suffering with asthma, and she taught him a few breathing exercises that were helping him to kind of relieve the suffering from the asthma. So just making a change and making people teachers and empowering them with the practices are what you do to kind of make a bigger change. There's a lot that's been going around online with the whole turning suspension into meditation program that we're doing in Baltimore at a couple schools. And that's all about empowerment too. Like we want to take people's opportunities that were punitive for them in the first place and make them empowering so that people knew that they were in control and they did have the power to kind of get themselves back to center. So instead of a kid wilding out in class, and not because of behavior issue, usually because of some trauma that they've gone through, and it may be seen as a behavior issue and they do something bad in class, but instead of suspending them and sending them back home to the environment where all these things are coming from, why not send them someplace where they can learn to center themselves and get themselves back together? And it's been working wonders. I mean, the schools are getting good numbers as far as suspensions and all the numbers that principals and school districts worry about, but you walk into those schools and they feel like stiller, calmer, more peaceful places, which is beautiful. Like you walk in the door and it feels a lot different, and that's what we care about. I mean, like as nonprofit people, we have to care about the numbers, but as human beings, we care about how these kids feel and how the school feels, an environment where they should feel safe and nurtured, and being able to express themselves in a lot of different ways. So, yeah, empowerment's key for us.
All right, so to finish off, we're going to do a little something different that we don't usually do. It's I rap a little. Yeah.
He's being really humble. He's awesome, yo.
So going along the theme, I was saying that y'all are a family. I wanted to do a little something for y'all so y'all could hear it. All right? So I'm going to do it a cappella, and I hope I don't mess up. All right. Make sure I don't mess up. Okay. I work out all day on tracks. I'm dedicated. Family history of depression, self-medicated. I can teach you who you are, how to regulate it. Prescribe the right diet, exercise, and meditation. But I can't make you drink the water. I just lead the way. For the fruit to flourish, gotta flush the weeds away. And I can see it in myself every single day. That's why I go so hard. I know I got to make a change. But the education system keep the lies ingrained. Along with the media, it's hard to find your way. I know what it is, the same time I want to play. To the point where, for real, what you gonna say? Used to be worried about what other people thought. But LOVE, that's all that for the people talk. If you want someone to answer, you just gotta knock. The truth is priceless. It's something that can't be bought. Love is almighty. Everything's within you. Everyone's a champion, but act like they contenders. Me, I'm just you. I wish that you remember. I guess it's what I'm here for. Bring us back to center. Staring at the chakras, honorary doctor. Look at what you made me. Now I'm just a monster. Married to Vedanta, my movement are asanas. Practice pranayama, I do it for my mama. Don't do it for the karma. I ain't seeking rewards. War don't change nothing. Pen stronger than the sword. I go with the flow, natural, can't be forced. A leaf on the water, still one with the source. The current guides me,
Nothing can surprise me. Can't believe the way I look, so they always try me. Blind 'em like a high beam, the way my light is shining. Be giving extra love to the ones that treat me grimy. Breathing next to pine trees, fingers always forming mudras. Try live instead of tweeting it on computers. My holy science got me off for years onto Yu-Gi-Ohs. I'm trying to make it so there's only winners, never losers. Love is almighty. Everything's within ya. Everyone's a champion, but act like they contenders. Me, I'm just you. I wish that you remember. Guess that's what I'm here for. Bring us back to center. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
I told y'all he was good.
So don't forget, something we like to end all of our talks with always is love is the most powerful force in the universe, y'all. And we love y'all very much. Have a blessed and beautiful day.
We're going to try to withdraw our senses to a thumb-sized light at our heart center that looks like a star in the midnight sky. They say that's the cave of your heart, the seat of yourself, the seat of Brahman. They say that's where your true self is. So that's all we're going to focus on is seeing that light, that thumb-sized light at our heart center. Looks like a star in the midnight sky in the cave of our hearts. And don't pay attention to anything on the outside of you. Don't pay attention to your clothes on your body or how your bottom feels on your chair. We're not focused on anything on the outside of us. We're just focused on that thumb-sized light at our heart center that looks like a star in the midnight sky. And you know, all right. And what we're going to do on the count of 3 is we're going to say, I love you to your true self. That thumb-sized light that looks like a star in the midnight sky. And we're going to say it out loud together. So on the count of 3, I want everyone to say, I love you to your true self. 1, 2, 3. I love you. All right. All right, next thing, I invite you all to open your eyes. And if you all could pair up, find a neighbor next to you.
This is the great part because sometimes you got to look at a stranger.
Exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Inhale deep again. Long, slow, deep breath through your nose, filling your stomach up with air. And exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Inhale deep one more time. Long, slow, deep breath. Filling your stomach up with air like it's a balloon. And exhale, push all that air out. Push it all out. Now you all can just breathe on your own at a nice natural pace. Don't put any effort into it. Just make sure you're breathing in and out through your nose. And what we're going to do is, your mind slips, it's cool. Don't beat yourself up. Just acknowledge what made your mind slip, whether it's a thought or a sound. And then redirect yourself back once again to that breath and seeing and feeling that thumb-sized light at your heart center. It looks like a star in the midnight sky. Once again, that's the seat of yourself, the window to the soul, the seat of Brahman. And we're just going to stay right there.
Good morning, everybody. Just so you all know who's who, I'm Ali.
I'm Atman.
And I'm Andy. They're the brothers. They're the Smith brothers.
All in the eyes. And we're going to start off with a practice. It's really good at kind of boosting your own energy up and then the energy of a room up. So I guess we're going to start off. Y'all can sit, move to the edge of your seat, have your feet grounded, have your back, neck, and head aligned. And I invite you all to close your eyes. And we're going to start off by taking a couple deep breaths together. In and out through our nose. So everyone inhale long, slow, and deep. In through your nose, filling your stomach up with air. And